holiday season is upon us, and that means a respiratory virus season as well. The director of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Mandy Cohen, stopped in Chicago yesterday, sharing that it's not too late to get up to date on your vaccinations.
And our friend of the stream, Dr. Katrine Wallace, epidemiologist at the University of Illinois, Chicago, joining us now. Good morning, and thanks for being here. We appreciate your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So I hear you actually got to meet Dr. Cohen yesterday.
Yes, Dr. Mandy Cohen yesterday. They were focused on the partnership between UI Health and the Chicago Hispanic Health Coalition and all the great work they've been doing to raise awareness and vaccinate the Hispanic community in Chicago.
So her main message was not only the importance, like you said, of getting vaccinated, but also the timing of it. Why should folks try and get up to date as soon as possible on COVID, flu, for those who are eligible, 16 and older, RSV vaccines? Like, why do, say, people who have had 4 or 5 COVID shots need this new COVID vaccine when, you know, from what I've read at least, the old vaccines kind of cover what's going on right now?
So, yeah, that's a great question. Thanks for asking it. So Dr. Cohen, again, she was here yesterday. She touched on kind of the importance, getting the word out about vaccines. And she was also, this is a very different CDC director. She was also listening to people's challenges and thanking people for the good work they've done. But one of the things she talked about was your question about, you know, why do we need another vaccine and what is going on with that? And really the reason for that is that we're now in a situation where this virus mutates all the time. And so much like the flu vaccine, every year we need to kind of top off our immunity and get a vaccine that's more similar to the strain that's circulating right now. And that's kind of what this vaccine does. And so we're getting away from like booster to the original vaccine and more thinking of it as part of our fall wellness routine, same as a flu vaccine, where we just kind of top off our protection. And in terms of the timing, what you were asking the question, that's a really great question. And another thing Dr. Cohen was talking about yesterday was that today actually is 2 weeks before Thanksgiving and the official start of the holiday season. And it takes about 2 weeks for the vaccines to really get going in your immune system. So this right now is actually the perfect time to get those fall vaccines. And you can get, this is exciting because this is the first time we've had a vaccine for the flu, for COVID, and now for people over 60, we have a vaccine for RSV. And you guys might remember we talked about last year the triple-demic of all 3 of those fall viruses hitting at once. So this is an exciting time that we have protection for all 3.
A booster form, but you mentioned this is now that annual form like the flu shot. But as we know, there's a lot of hesitancy still around this, no matter what form it is. So there's going to be a lot of people around the dinner table with families during the holidays talking about myths or disinformation. What's your take on that? Because I'm sure you have those conversations a lot.
Yeah, thanks for asking that question, because I think it's really important. Misinformation has led to an increase in kind of anti-vax sentiment. And everyone has a family member that or a friend that is talking about this type of information. I think it's important before you race in and do a fact check or a debunk for people, just remember that most people are really trying to figure out how to make the best choices for their family. And that's really their goal, but they're just using the wrong information to do so. So listening with empathy and validating concerns is really important to keep a conversation going and then provide good info. Racing in with a fact check or calling people, you know, dumb or something is not going to be a good method. Listening with empathy, validating concerns, and then providing good information is the only way to do that.
What are some other things, Dr. Kat, people can do not only to protect themselves, but the people around them, especially people who have disabilities or are immunocompromised? Let's say A, they're not going to vax, or B, they are going to vax, but regardless of that, what can they do beyond that?
So aside from the vaccinations, you can have some tests on hand, which is a great way to make sure that you're not really sick and just maybe are asymptomatic before you attend this holiday gathering that maybe has your elderly, immunocompromised relatives. Also, obviously hand washing, making sure that you are in a well ventilated area. If you have 32 people around a dinner table and it's, you maybe crack some windows. You could also wear masks indoors when you're not eating. That is, especially if you're around those elderly, immunocompromised relatives, masks do work. Basically, the more layers of mitigation you use, the better and safer everybody is. So it's really just kind of a matter of assessing your surroundings. Are you in a really tight, squeezed space with no ventilation, or are you outside? So that sort of dictates what you're going to need to do. And also, if you do get sick, we now have we have antiviral treatment with Paxlovid. So we do have that too.
All right, Dr. Katrine Wallace, epidemiologist at the University of Illinois, Chicago. Always a pleasure, and really always appreciate your time. Thank you.